Hi, this is Tatiana from Tatiana Math Resources, and we're looking at a CSEC past paper 2018 question 2. This is 2018 paper 2 question 2a. It states here, factorize completely each of the following expressions, i. 1 minus 4h to the second power. So as soon as I see that, I know that this is difference of two squares, or difference of squares. So for example, it means a squared minus b squared, and that is a plus b, can be represented as a minus b. Doesn't matter the order, it can be a minus b by a plus b. So 1 is 1 squared minus 4, 2 squared is equals to 4. So 2h squared. So let's understand that 2h squared, the bracket is on the outside. 2h squared means 2h by 2h. So 2 by 2 is 4, and h by h will give you h to the second power. So we're going to continue here. So that means we're going to write 1 minus 2h, 1 plus 2h. Or you can write it as 1 plus 2h and 1 minus 2h. That's the final answer. Here we have 2018 part 2 of question 2. So we have pq minus q to the second power minus 3p plus 3q. So we have 4 terms, all right? 4 terms. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are factoring 4 terms. So what we do first is, I'm going to just write it here a little bigger. pq minus q squared minus 3p plus 3q. We're going to put them off in pairs. I'll have them in pairs. We're going to look at the first bracket. Now I can expand. P, Q means P times Q. Well, let me use the multiplication sign, seeing that there's no x's. Times Q minus Q squared means Q times Q. Put that back in brackets. Minus 3p means 3 times p plus 3 times q. Close the brackets. So we're going to look at it and see what is common. So in the first bracket, what's common is q. So we're going to put that on the outside. Now what do we write on the inside? We're left back with p minus q. Minus. Let's look at what we have here in the second bracket. What's common is 3. In these two terms here, 3p and 3q, what is common is 3. So that goes on the outside. Let's have open our brackets here, and what's left back is p plus q. Now you notice in the previous bracket we have p minus q. Now this is when it comes to the rules relating to signs. So we have a minus 3 on the outside, and when I multiply that by p, I'm going to get this minus 3p, which is what I want. Now I have a plus 3q. So when I multiply this minus 3 by this plus q, I'm going to get a minus 3q. Because remember, a negative times a positive gives you a negative. So I have to change this sign here. So the correct answer would be q, open brackets, p minus q minus 3 by p minus q. So we're going to take what's on the outside of the bracket and put it in one bracket. So we're going to get, I'll put it in a different color, q minus 3. Remember, we take this and we take this with the sign, q minus 3, and then we take the comma bracket, p minus q. That's our final answer. Let me just write answer here, q minus 3 by p minus q. That's the answer. Here we have, continuing with question 2b. Solve each of the following equations. So part 1, 3 over 2y equals to 12. Now that means that what we could do is to get rid of this fraction. So let me just write it over here a little clearer. Okay, we want to get rid of this fraction, the 3 over 2. So what we do is we multiply both sides by 2. Multiply both sides by 2. So 2 by 3 over 2y and 12 times 2. Okay, I'm going to put the multiplication sign there. So that means we could cancel. 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 2 is 1. When we come here, now we're going to get 3y equals 12 times 2 is 24. So we have 3y is equals to 24. So the next step is to divide both sides by 3. So 3y equals 24 divided by 3. We're going to cancel. Sorry, not 3y. 3y divided by 3. So we're going to cancel. 3 into 3 is 1, 3 into 3 is 1. 3 into 3 is 1, and 3 into 24 is 8. So the final answer is y equals to 8. Let's check to make sure that we are correct. So we have 3 over 2y equals 12. We're going to substitute y for 8 equals to 12. So remember, this would be 3 over 2 times 8 over 1, which is 12. So 12. 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 8 is 4. 3 times 2 is 12 equals to 12. So our answer is correct. Here we have the part 2 of the B question. 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals to 0. So we're going to understand first that this is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So we first have to label or to find out what a is equals to, what is b, and what is c. So a is the coefficient of our x squared term, which is 2. B is the coefficient of our x term, which is 5. And then we have our number there, -3. We always take the sign. And the rule is we multiply a times c. So 2 times -3 will give us 2 times -3 is -6. So the combinations to get -6. -2 times 3. But I don't like to write times. I will just put the combinations are -2 and 3, 2 and -3. 6 ones are 6, 6 and -1, -6 and 1. So which of these combinations would give you the B term? Well, B, 5 plus 5. Now the rule is you need a positive 5. So the bigger number in whatever combinations you choose here has to be positive. And yes, for sure it cannot be this nor this. The bigger number here, 6, that would be the answer. We can't use that. So how are we going to do that? Replace 6 negative 1 with this term 5x plus 5x. So let's write that. We're going to write back the 2x squared, and we're going to write plus 6x minus 1x minus 3, and it equals to 0. So we have 4 terms. We're going to separate them, put them in pairs. So here we go, 1 set, 2. We're going to look at the first bracket, and we're going to factorize 2x squared plus 6x. Now I'm going to use a dot to represent multiplication. And if you look at the 2x squared, we expand that, you're going to get 2 dot x dot x. Remember, x squared means x times x. Plus, let's expand 6. That'll be 2 times 3 by x. Put my brackets again. Minus 1x is 1 times x minus 3. 3 times 1. Same thing as saying 3 is equals to 3 times 1. You will get 3. What is common in the first set of brackets? 2x. 2 and x. So that comes on the outside. We're going to open our brackets, and we're going to be left with x plus 3. We're going to put our minus sign here. Look at what we have in the second bracket. 1x and 3 times 1. So 1. So we're going to put a 1 on the outside. And what's left back is x minus 3. Now the previous bracket was x plus 3. So this one here has to be x plus 3 also. And how do we get that? If I multiply, or I would need to multiply this negative 1 by x, I'm going to get the negative 1x. Negative 1 by this minus 3, I'm going to get a plus 3. I don't want a plus 3, I want a minus 3. So therefore, this has to be a plus. And our final answer will be 2x minus 1. Not finished yet. We take what was on the outside, the 2x, and minus 1. And then x plus 3. Remember, equals to 0. So we're going to solve now. So 2x minus 1 equals 0. 2x equals, we carry over the minus 1 on the other side, be 1. So x is a half. And we have x plus 3 equals to 0. So x is equals to, we're going to move this plus 3 over to the other side, the right hand side. That's going to give us a negative 3. Now we're going to move on to C. The quantities f, m, u, and v and t are related according to the formula f equals m open bracket v minus u over t. Part 1, find the value of f when m is 3, u is negative 1, v is 2, and t is 1. So we have to substitute. So let's do that. So we have f equals m open brackets v minus u, all of that over t. So let's substitute where we see. So here we're going to substitute. So we're going to get m is 3. So 3 open brackets, v is 2 minus u is negative 1. All of that over t is 1. So the rule is 2 negative signs here, we're going to get a plus. So 3 by 2 plus 1 over 1, which is equals to 3 by 3 over 1, which is equals to 9 over 1, which is 9. Right? The final question, part 2 of C. Make V the subject of the formula. And here is our formula from the question before. So what we're going to do first is write this out. F equals M, open bracket, V minus U over T. So let us remove the brackets first. So F is equals to M by V is MV, and M by U minus MU over T. So we want to get rid of this T, this fraction here. So we're going to multiply by T over 1, multiply by T over 1. Here is going to cancel out, and we're going to end up with Ft is equals to Mv minus Mu. Remember the rule, what we're trying to get to make V the subject. So we're not gonna move this term Mv because it has the V letter is what we're trying to make the subject of this particular formula. Before, the subject was F, the only term on the left hand side of this equation, and that made it the subject. Okay, so we're gonna move, let me just put this minus Mu, and that is gonna give us Ft plus Mu equals Mv. Now Mv is that you're multiplying M by V, and the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So if you want to make V the subject, it would be V equals, no, what am I? So we understand that MV is equals to M times V. So let's come over here. We're going to write Ft plus Mu all over M equals to V. We could turn it around and say V is equals to Ft plus Mu over M. Notice, just like before, V is all on its own on the left hand side, and everything else is on the right hand side. So yes, we answered the question. We made V the subject of the formula. From Tatiana Math Resources, and we did CSEC 2018 Math Paper, question 2. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching my video. Stay tuned for more.